Yep. Okay. There. Much better. Okay, this is beginning to give me Autism Speaks vibes, but I don't think it's by the same producer, so I don't think this is Autism Speaks. I really don't. It feels a little different from Autism Speaks. At least it's, if it is an Autism Speaks sponsored thing, whatever. The producers, none of that have are from Autism Speaks because of the way they do things is a little bit different. But it's kind of got that feel for it, almost like if somebody listened to CCR a whole hell of a lot as a kid and they started playing guitar, maybe they might sound a little bit have that kind of nice funk going on, from CCR. That's kind of how it feels. Kind of like almost inspiration porn, but well, the problem is with Autism Speaks, it's supposed to be inspiration, but it's like the opposite of. It's um very very demeaning and very almost demonic seeming. Uh, this I think is trying to go the other direction and go and be inspiration porn. I think, but it seems like if it was like the same group of people, but not the same actual producers. I'm just trying to understand. Boy, this is looking great. I am so excited. The thing is I'm autistic, and I never tried that. And Superman was my favorite. But yeah, that whole fear of gravity thing worked really well for me. You know that warrior gene? I don't got it. And I don't need it, nor do I want it, okay? It can just go do its own warrior thing with other people's, like my wife. Oh my god. She is a Marine, by the way. Right. Yeah. Yes. We all do. Not all the time. Oh my goodness. He's a magician. Well done. That was well done. I liked it. Okay, yeah, just shut the fuck up. Oops. Did I say that aloud? Yeah, I did. Don't listen to this dude. Simon Baron Cohen. It's actually Sir Simon Baron Cohen. I don't know why they got that wrong, but it is Sir Simon Baron Cohen. Um, he was knighted by the Queen of England for his great research in autism, and everything he says is wrong. He doesn't know anything. He was surprised when they did the spectrum thing and the autistic community. I mean, they put millions of dollars in this thing, and he had no idea, no clue whatsoever that the autistic community just might be upset about that. That is how disconnected he is from the autism community. So don't even take what he says with a grain of salt. Don't do it. He has no idea what he is talking about. And what sadly, he is known as being one of the world's most foremost experts in autism, which is crazy because it's all the people who think that are not autistic. But he is thought to be one of the foremost experts in autism, except for from autistic people. Go figure. I hate his smile. He's like a damn televangelist, you know? He's just smiling the whole time. And it gets creepy as hell the way he talks. It gets really creepy. And he puts on the English accent because he is English. But he has that smile. And it's creepy as all fucking get out. The dude scares the hell out of me. And I work with serial killers. See? Ah! Wait, here it goes. He actually is right on this what he's saying right here. Which is exactly what you did. Literally, that is exactly what you did by assuming that most of the community would just love it, and you found out that most of the community hated your ideas. But you had no clue and committed millions of dollars without even bothering to contact the autism community, which is your protocol. It's always been that way for the last 20 years because you know way more than everybody else. You know more than the freaking autistic freaks themselves, don't you? That's what you think we are. You know that? That's really sad because we're not. And if you got to know us, you would know that. This guy is a very sick man. Did he just sound so wonderful there? That's Nikola Tesla. Uh, is it Newton? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Einstein. Oh my goodness, such a young Einstein. Uh huh. Yep. Guess we don't. I'm trying to turn on closed caption, but wasn't wanting to do it for me. I line my toys up too, but so what? You're supposed to. They're cars. What else? What the hell else would you do with them? Yeah, I got in trouble for being overly sensitive. I needed to learn to act like a man. Yeah, I talk too much too. Thus, here I am. Yeah, yeah, I was too. Yeah, I went out in the woods too. I'm about his age. He's a Gen Xer, it looks like. Mm-hmm. This is in their home, and it's her home. Look how she's sitting. She is so relaxed on that couch. She is too. Look, she's got her toy. That's their dog. She was just lazily. Look how she was petting. I don't even think she did. She realize she was petting him. Maybe, maybe not. See how she's just petting him. And they call that regression. I don't like it being called regret. Maybe that is a good way to call it. I don't know, but I just hate to call it regression. I just think it's a natural progression for many autistic kids. I'm not saying that it's good, but I'm saying it's very normal, a natural progression, um, because they do regress and then they will come right back out of that. Sometimes it takes a couple of years, but not always. Sometimes, sometimes not. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So what? And the thing is like my kids probably did the same type of thing, and I never even noticed it. But I was not going to criticize how they played. I was not concerned about how they played. They, as long as they were happy, they were learning, and I mean, they were safe. Look at that cat. These guys, that cat is just. He's so used to those kids. Oh my goodness gracious, that is so funny. And nobody even thinks anything of it. Like dad's here, all casual. She don't give a shit. Mom doesn't give a shit. He's just sitting there. He's playing with its foot. He's stimming on its foot. He's literally stimming on that cat's foot. And cats love a lot of times for you to stim on them because they think you're petting them. Or they just find us artistic people and like they think make us think we're stimming on them when we're just petting them. I don't know. Symbiotic relationship. And it's still there's still a certain amount of stigma to this day, and in fact, I think there always will be in my lifetime, unless technology changes so much that we can live a very long time. Hello, Six Thunder. Wait, you're Tyler. You're Tyler. Hello. I don't recognize that name, but I recognize your thing. I think you're Tyler. Yeah, it's Tyler. Okay. Hello. Well, this is really cool because I'm actually here, and this is what's really awesome is there's been I was having all kinds of technical difficulties. Everything's working wonderful now. My computer basically crashed. I I redid my computer from scratch, from the just literally. I went back to the beginning and went from scratch, and I realized that probably what was going on is I didn't have um a like a security Norton type of thing. Right now I've got Bitfender, which I was able to get. I've used that before, and it had a really high rating at least years before. Um, but I ended up with all kinds of viruses and stuff, and I think it screwed up my computer. The other thing is I was trying lots of different programs out to see what was would work for me and what wouldn't, and all that stuff. And I think I had a lot of remnants of those programs in there, so I've only loaded bare bones of what I have to have. And so if you watch, it's working really well. But um, I'm going down a rabbit hole right now because I found this thing. It's called what's it called? Autism, Understanding Autism, and it was made this year by autistic people about autism. So I I just discovered this thing, so I'm going down the rabbit hole and looking at it. But the cool thing is this: I got a few like 40 cents here, 40 cents there from roses and so forth that literally went into my bank account, and I needed 19.99 or something like that. It was like almost $20 to get it. And the thing is over the last like 2 months, I probably gotten like $3, which was just enough to get the virus protection that I needed, so that I can go online and actually look at these different websites and so forth. So I've got lots of stuff to go over though. So anyway, I'm taking a look at this real quick, and I'm actually going to go all the way through this because this has got sparked my interest. The other thing is that with the refrigerator mothers, what was also found was it was the more attentive mothers that were called the most calloused uh, of the mothers, and the reason was is they paid more attention and understood their kids better. So they didn't necessarily go run to them and like touch them and fuss with them and all that crap that you normally expect. Um, A little like my daughter, the way she is with my grandkids. The same way I was with them. Is, if they fell and hit their head, it's like, okay, okay, yep, well, you look okay, and go on about your business. There's not the whole coddling stuff like that, because that's not what they want, and that's not what they need. Now sometimes they may, when they did hug their kids, really hug them really super super tight. But what they found was the truth was the ladies that were called refrigerator mothers, the ones that appeared to be the most callous, were actually the best mothers there, because they understood their kids and they didn't overstimulate their kids with additional touches and getting intrusive and in their space. No, they allowed them to deal and cope with the world on their own terms. So they appeared to be more distant, and thus were called cold hearted refrigerator mothers. Hmm. Yeah, and he also said that um, autistic boys were born criminals and the autistic girls were born prostitutes. So if we're going to be fair, we're going to be fair. I don't think he was as bad as everyone thinks he was necessarily, and I think there's reasons for that. But you know what? Where he is bad, let's be honest about that and not just give one side of the story. We don't know that for sure. Yes, he probably was complicit completely, but we do not know that. We do not know that he knew everything. Did he? Yeah. More than likely. More than likely. But we do not know that. And there's zero evidence to indicate that he did know anything. So we do have to be careful that we don't demonize a person for something that he did not do. Let's demonize him for what he did do, if anything. That is absolutely correct. It did have to go through Hans Asperger's. Um, that's that's correct. This being said, the controversy is that there is possible that he could have recommended that they go to a different clinic. Um, and when he says it was known to be a clinic for euthanasia, but we don't know again that Hans Asperger knew that. This is very, very tricky. He might have been a monster. He might have been a complete horrible person. But technically, according to the evidence, we don't know that. And the evidence actually says otherwise. Um, which is really messed up because he probably was a monster. And she is the one who coined the term Asperger's. And the reason she did that was she found a condition and he had written about it and she was naming it, and it was a tradition or a like a scholar's code of honor or whatever to name a condition after someone who first described it. So without taking into consideration anything about his personal life, just academically, that's why she named it that. Boy, that was so nice. All he did was have echolalia and repeated what the guy said. I mean, that's, I guess, if you want to say, "Yay, you just had echolalia," just kind of weird. Yep. That's pretty common, actually. Or he could be remembering who she was. If he's face blind like me, that may indicate that who the person is. I recognize people's gaits. I remember people's gaits and so forth. Um, I don't necessarily remember who people really are as far as their face. I've run into my daughter and talked to her in a different city and sat there and talked to her for a couple of minutes and never knew that it was my daughter. So when you're face blind, there are. But when she walked away from having those conversations both times, I recognized who she was. But it wasn't until she walked away when I recognized her gait, and I knew that that was my daughter. And I don't know how else to put it. I can recognize gaits very well, and mannerisms, but for whatever reason, I didn't pick up on her voice. I didn't pick up on anything, and I sat there and talked to her. I believe him. And one thing that's got to be taken into consideration here is my son committed suicide at 22. He was autistic. So it is a very serious thing that can happen. No, we don't necessarily need to make friends, Simon. That's not the primary thing. Yes, we don't experience socialization like you do, dude. And you should know better than that. One and three. One and three. One and three has planned or attempted suicide. My son did kill himself. I don't know why. I mean, okay, so almost all autistic people, I would be comfortable with saying all autistic people experience some sort of depression. I'm comfortable saying that. I don't know that that is factually correct, but I am comfortable saying that all autistic people experience some sort of depression. All autistic people have experienced some sort of PTSD or CPTSD as adults by the time they're 18, for sure. Um, Yes, we are, and once again, there's going to be the exception of the one person that didn't have PTSD, but I still say I still feel comfortable saying all autistic people experience some kind of PTSD or um, PTSD, CPTSD, depression, um, and I think in females there's occasional bipolar or mania, sometimes associated with it. More so often than with boys, but all of us have ADHD. Well, not all of us. A good portion of us have ADHD, and I think ADHD may be more prevalent in boys, but then again, it may just present differently. The ADHD. I think the autism is just as prevalent in girls as it is in boys. I don't think that there's anything to indicate that there's anything different. I know all the statistics, have boys as being diagnosed more, but that tells us that the boys have been diagnosed more. That's all it tells us. Unfortunately, we don't know, but we do know what the problems we have had is. So, isn't it crazy how Simon Baron Cohen has all these statistics and everything else, but he doesn't know the first thing about autistic people? It's so crazy. Okay, where is this? UCLA Center for Autism Research and Treatment. Okay, I don't recognize that, so I don't think Autism Speaks is supporting this. I'm going to find one day where Speaks is supporting a lab that is doing genetic research specifically to cure autism. I guarantee you, I'm going to find it. And then they'll just stop funding it and put out an apology and then do it somewhere else again. I'm still pissed off. I was told I was weird so often. She's so cute, this little girl. And it's so funny because I did too. In fact, I had a whole story that I was from Titan, the moon of Jupiter. Yep, or Saturn. No, Saturn. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh yeah. Screw them. Flap harder. There you go. There you go. Dance it out. And that's how I've always described the autism diagnosis. It's simply a description. If it describes you accurately and you do fit that criteria, if it describes you, you're autistic. If it's a perfect description of you, you are autistic. That's what a diagnosis is. It's a description of signs and symptoms or behaviors, and or if you want to call it that. When you fit all of those things, when all of those things describe you, you are autistic. That simple. It's a description. That's not this big mysterious, you know, thing. It's simply a description of traits and how we understand, perceive the world and interact in it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She's a dancer. Oh my word. How funny. I was obviously a lot more little, a lot of little different because there has not been one person that I grew up with or anything else. I still live, well, 20 minutes away from where I grew up. And I haven't been gone from that area very long. But even the people that grew up with me, when I tell them that I'm autistic, I have not had one that was shocked or anything. The most I've gotten is oh, oh, huh. Oh, well, that makes sense. Oh my God, he's so cute. Get shot. Get shot. You can look online time and time and time again. The and I've said this over and over and over. The most dangerous person it is to be is a young black man with autism because the police more than likely are going to unlife you than anything else. I've seen video after video where, and you can see it yourself, where there's a 14-year-old, 16-year-old young black autistic kid that the family is having a hard time with because they're getting bigger and older and stronger. But they've dealt with that kid for 16 years. But all the police can tolerate is about 6-10 seconds before they kill him. That's how intolerant of autism the police are. Well, they thought he was gonna. You know what? They've got body armor on and everything else. And there's a whole pack of cops Yet some kid has a fork in his hand or a shovel or a rake or whatever, and all of a sudden they've got to like fill the kid full of bullets. Fill him full of bullets. Not just shoot once to stop, but fill him full of bullets because they're autistic. Like I said, these families have put up with these kids for 16 years and done perfectly fine. Never had to kill him once. Not once. As soon as the cops get involved, that's the first thing they do. And it is a pattern. Over and over and over and over and over, we see this from cops all over the country. And they get away with it every single time. It is rare for a cop to be held accountable when they murder a young black autistic man. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Now, and they're going to call this regression. And once again, I think of it as progression. It's a normal thing for autistic kids to talk and then not talk for a period of time and so forth. Now, my son, he didn't really talk. Actually, I think he probably did talk a little bit better and then stopped talking, which we figured he was just being stubborn, and that was it. And we didn't worry about it. We're like, he'll talk when he wants to. He talked before, he'll talk again, and he did. I don't know why these people freak the hell out. And yes, I did have to teach him to speak. But Autism Speaks did not do it. And nor did ABA. I did. He did. We just paid attention and did what needed to be done. Allow it to happen. It should be mandatory. These communication devices, no matter what, should be available to all kids that need them. Period. End of story. At least at school. Even if they don't take it home, which I would say they would take it home so that way it could help them with their homework. At least you have a good reason there. But it should be mandatory that this stuff should be available. What do you mean? How was that phrased? Come on. Allow this to happen. No, it needs to be mandatory. Because we are not important enough. There are many diseases like Ehlers-Danlos, for example, that There is not the money in Ehlers-Danlos to for pharmaceuticals to cure, because it can't be cured with pharmaceuticals. Neither can autism. So there is zero motivation for pharmaceutical companies, the companies that are most likely, or the medical equipment. There's no medical equipment that's going to help autism be cured. So there's zero incentive for any of these companies to do anything to put towards autism. There's zero financial incentive. Why would you go throw money at nothing as a business? Businesses are there by definition to make money. That's why they're there. Nonprofits are there to make a profit. They have to make a profit. Literally, they have to make a profit to be a nonprofit. I know this. I tried. So the reason this is there is no incentive. There's no money there. Nobody cares. You've got a handful of autism parents trying to, quote, make a difference. But this is not a major priority for the United States or any other country. Now, if we want to make it a priority, then autistic people have to do it. And we have to not be afraid of speaking out and speaking up for ourselves. And we have to not worry about infighting and all that bull crap. We need to be able to speak and make it their business. Just like wheelchair accessibility. What percentage of the population needs a wheelchair? Well, it's certainly less than 1%. But we got wheelchair access, don't we? We need access for invisible disabilities. And that's why things like these tablets should be mandatory. Just like wheelchair access, ramps, and so forth. Particularly at schools and so forth, and government buildings and so forth. All these translation devices should be available. I think she's talking about ABA there. Is that not jacked up? The public schools rejected her. That's autism friendly, isn't it? Had to go to court to be able to be a normal kid. She must love that thing. Always on her shoulder. Okay, this is an art therapy thing, and as much as I would like it to be something, we don't know that it is. We just don't know that it actually works. It's just one of those things. We just, at this point in time, we just don't know that art therapy is a therapy at all. Um, could it be beneficial or could it help? Yeah, sure, whatever. May it not be all what it's cut up are supposed to be? Yeah, sure. And frankly, because when anything is indecisive, then that's decisive in itself. If there's a debate on something like ABA, whether it's good or bad, then flat out, it's probably bad. Yeah, it's not good. If there's that much of a debate, it's not that good. So just throw it out as bad. That's why black and white thinking is so easy for an autistic person. That's why there doesn't need to be nuance. Because, like I said, if there's a huge debate over whether autism speaks is good or bad, whether it works or not, whether it causes PTSD or not, get rid of the crap. If you have a car that you're considering buying and you look on the internet and half the people say that it's a piece of shit and that it is not going to run for 2 miles, and the other half just say, well, it's great. That's like a Tesla right now, the Cyber truck. Just don't do it. Don't do it. And the reason is there's so much debate over it, you might as well invest in another electric vehicle because there is no debate about these other electric vehicles. With the Cybertruck, there is tons and tons of debate. So just stay the hell away from it. It's that simple. So with this art thing, it's such a debate that I'm going to say no. It's probably not helpful at all. Because if we knew it was helpful, then we would know it was helpful. But we don't. Because there's still a lot of debate. Like, we know antibiotics work. We know they work. Period. There's no debate over whether they work. So that's the type of thing that I'm talking about. If there was just debate over whether antibiotics did or didn't work or whatever else, then by definition, because you can't say that they work, it doesn't work. But they do work. See, and that does not mean that he's identifying his feelings. Or what it means is that he knows the word that is associated with how he is supposed to feel in that situation. That does not mean that he feels the emotion. Happiness. He might. But he could have alexithymia like I do and like my son did. And not actually feel that emotion, not be able to identify it, but be able to describe it because of situationally we know what that word is supposed to do, or what that word or which word is supposed to apply to which situations. But that's a learned experience. We don't necessarily feel an emotion happy. No, we have an experience. Our child is born, so we say, oh, we're happy or we're experiencing joy because those are the appropriate emotions that are supposed to go with those situations. But it doesn't mean that that emotion is any different. It's just good or bad. That's alexithymia. But with this right there, what I hate about this is that somebody's going to call that a win. Look, we taught him to identify his emotions. Look, he knows he's happy. No, not necessarily. It could be just a learned response. See, they're using these really using these feel words and all this stuff. That doesn't mean that they're learning to identify those feelings and or identify their feelings at all. That's just it's annoying. I mean, maybe there's good in teaching autistic kids those words, but it doesn't mean that they're in touch with their emotions like an holistic person. And if a holistic person thinks because an autistic person says that they're happy, that they're experiencing the same things that they do, they are completely, utterly, drastically wrong. We do not experience emotions the same way that holistic people do. I don't think any of us do. Okay? No, do we experience emotions? Yes, of course we do. But I think part of autism is not experiencing emotions the same way holistic people do. So when we say we're happy, that does not mean the same damn thing as when an holistic person says they're happy. Is it a good thing? Yes. Are we experiencing a good thing? Yes. But are we experiencing the same thing that an holistic person experiences when they say they're happy? I don't think so. I know I don't. Right, and the thing is we can know what emotions somebody kicked my dog. Well, I'm angry, right? That would be the appropriate emotion. That's the appropriate word that goes with that. I know I feel bad and I feel an instant rush of emotions, but that isn't any difference from if I dropped a pencil or if my son died, which my son did die, or if somebody kicked my dog. It's bad. And when my son committed suicide, I guess the proper word would be devastated. But I'm having to associate a word with bad. So, if that's what you're saying, Beck, that yeah, that's where I'm at on that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you could have burnout and depression at the same time. In fact, I would say that burnout is a type of depression. Can't hear me? Oh, can't hear this. That's interesting. Why can't we hear this? Nope. Oh my god!
It
Oh, here we
just,
go.
I was really
There it
angry.
goes. Okay,
Um,
there
But
we
he
go.
didn't have any
We can go
words
back a
and he
little
was a
bit.
late walker. I started the organization because what does a young black man that doesn't have any words do when he's approached by the police and he doesn't understand what yield means?
And this is what I'm talking about. The what's going to happen is this with the young black man. He's going to be killed, shot and killed, more than likely. At the very least, roughed up. Um, I can show you video after video just on YouTube about young black men getting unlifed by cops because they were autistic. It's amazing to me that a family can live with their child for 16 years and not kill them once. And 16 years, the cops show up, and within 10 seconds, that's how long they can tolerate an autistic man. a 16-year-old boy. About 10 seconds before they kill him. Think about that. These people live with this autistic kid for 16 years. The cops show up and kill him. And it's common. It's normal. It's to be expected. It is so dangerous that I say that if you have an autistic kid, you do not call the cops ever. It does happen with white kids too, and Latinos and everything else. But the thing is the most dangerous situation you can possibly be in is to be a young black man. That is the most dangerous situation you could possibly be in. Because the cops have such a high propensity of unlifing or murdering young black men. And they usually get away with it, particularly if they are autistic. You know? And we can show this, we can prove this. And this is what she's concerned about. Right. So, knowing a word that doesn't necessarily mean that there's an emotion attached to it. But like with me and my son, we would feel no emotions a lot of times or extreme emotion. But like for me, I feel good or bad. I don't feel happiness, joy as different types of emotions. It's just good or it's just bad. I don't experience different emotions in different ways. It's good or bad. I don't know how else to say it. But I do have those emotions, and they are to an extreme. I'm not.
So I knew that something had to be done
now
in order to protect these children, but also to bring awareness within my own community about what autism is and how we could advocate as a community to make things better. No matter whether they have high support needs or lower support needs, we just have to be there for them and loving them. Because love goes a long way when you figure it out. Like I think about how much time I wasted on thinking about myself. And I feel bad about that because when I took the focus off me and I said, hey, you're stimming, you're not bothering anybody. You're doing this, you're not bothering anybody. It makes you...
That is good. You tap my foot.
Thank you, sir. He's not bothering anybody. So I learned to enjoy him, and we have to open the door so they can thrive and be who they should be.
There we go.
Elizabeth spoke until she was 15 months old, and then suddenly her words were all taken from her at 15 months. Suddenly, everything changed.
There are 31 million non-speakers with autism who are locked in a silent cage. We will get so far in our mission to free them if schools would abide by the ADA.
And so we need to get computers and technology into schools and allow this to happen. Can somebody give me a rational reason why this is not happening?
This is a matter of money and ego. The service providers will lose money and have to admit they were wrong about our capabilities.
You and Elizabeth had to fight for her right for education, her right to communicate.
I'm trying to get the decibels up.
So you had to go to court to have her educated.
To have her be in public school.
There, is that a little bit better?
It's gonna be an interesting day.
How are we doing on homework? I haven't looked this week.
Pretty good. I mean, quarter just started, so, I don't have a lot to do, and I'm working as hard as I can.
Okay.
There, I'm
I love you.
trying to get it turned up a little bit.
Have fun today.
I'll try.
Hey, don't bite anybody.
You are taking the fun out of everything.
Can you hear it now?
Do your best. This is a public charter school, and the best things about Lionsgate is Lucy is proud of being autistic. It's a positive part of her identity.
If I were to feel really, really excited, what might my line be?
Their world.
Did it make you feel itchy? Did that make you feel
Happy?
happy?
And maybe they're just trying to get these words or whatever. It's I don't know.
We didn't know what autism was. So when she would have a meltdown, it was a tantrum, and we constantly have to learn and revisit that. No, this is not a tantrum, it's an autistic meltdown. This is not
I don't
depression.
know what happened,
This is
to tell you
autistic
the truth.
burnout. You know, this is not anxiety. This is sensory overload.
I didn't know where she was on the spectrum, and I was always, hoping for her to be further up on the spectrum, further. But then, we understood that we kind of hit a ceiling where we saw where all her challenges were.
She constantly takes her clothes off. She runs away from home, so we have to lock her inside. And it's just, sometimes it just feels so wrong to have to, contain her just so she stays safe and she doesn't get hit by a car,
I had a lot of depression, and I was really angry.
What were you angry at?
Like, why my child?
I never did feel angry or anything like that, but it is what it is, I guess.
My life is for service to those who are voiceless.
Literally voiceless. And so you wrote a book called I'm In Here, which was your experience with not being able to communicate all of that brilliance and that life that you have within yourself.
If this is the gal I think of, I'm thinking of, she got this communication device fairly late in life.
I wrote 70 poems, and they were published in I Am In Here more than a decade ago. I want to give families hope. I know something about shared achievements because I am affected by a form of autism that doesn't allow me to speak. I am not special. All non-speakers are fierce advocates once they learn to type.
In your commencement address, you
That's what I've heard.
bring up Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning. My favorite book. About and you are that example.
About sharing your last crust of bread. That's what it means to be human.
Wow. Can I give you a hug? You are such a beautiful soul. Thank you for everything. Thank you for doing what you're doing.
I have struggled my whole life with not being heard or accepted. A story on the front page of our local newspaper reported how the principal at my high school told a staff member, "The retard can't be valedictorian." Yet today, here I stand. Each day, I choose to celebrate small victories, and today, I am celebrating a big victory with all of you.
many individuals with autism do not have well-developed spoken language skills. So we need to get comfortable with lots of nonverbal communication too. And we need to get comfortable in our own skin. So when things happen that are unusual or a surprise, that we don't feel threatened or alarmed, rather we're simply curious. And we can take that moment and turn it into something very positive and constructive.
I had to go down this rabbit hole.
And so we're at the horse farm, which I just saw her ride horses.
Yes.
And she really seemed to love it.
Yeah, she took to that very quickly. It didn't take too much. And then as they ride through the trail, as you probably saw, they have sensory items out there for them to reach and touch. And she was able to take her hands off the saddle and touch things. So we were delighted.
And so you come here and there's 30 horses and you know all the horses.
Yes, I know them. I've probably ridden all of them at some point in my life.
And so do you feel more connected to the animals than humans?
Yes, I like animals a lot more than people.
That's very, very common for autistic people. That's no big surprise.
Yeah. It's easier for you?
Yeah, they're not as chatty.
There's Temple.
My mother discovered I was really good at art, but I would draw the same horse head over and over again. So she took my special interest and broadened it. You want to take that special interest and make it less fixated. So if a kid likes cars, then let's read about cars. Let's find out how they work. That would be science. And so she got me doing lots of different kinds of art media.
Oh, it's gone again.
Okay.
Early brain development of an autistic brain.
I've got an echo. I'm trying to figure out why.
Very strong
echo.
Absolutely. And then the kind of obsessive interest in music above all else.
Yes.
Then meant you just played and played and played and practiced and practiced. And so it's those two things. You need both things.
Bravo! Yes, Derek. Thank you so much, Derek.
Thank you, Scott.
You are expressing love in so many ways in your autism. I love it.
Yes.
So we are in Keystone, Colorado, and doing my favorite thing in the world, which is skiing. And it actually was my special interest. And it gave me self-esteem.
Yeah,
and I ended up competing.
For some reason, this video didn't want to do anything. Now it's getting
If I didn't have this, I don't know.
That's a little bit better.
What would have happened?
Still got an echo, though, I think. A little
So
bit.
this is my happy place. To have my skis on, to be up in the mountains. I relax. I don't worry. I would call this autistic joy.
Oh, thank you.
I think it
Cool.
costs $5,000 to $8,000 on average for
I'm
an
glad to know
adult
that
to
it's
get an
working
autism
finally.
diagnosis. It's a luxury and a privilege that not everybody has.
And I understand that it's not
This gal here in the orange, she's a professor.
just a luxury and a privilege, but it's also opens
Professor of neurodiversity at, I think, UCLA.
up sadness when you think about the years that went by when you struggled so very much without having the proper supports.
And what is a professor of neurodiversity? I never even, like, what is that?
Only 22% of autistic adults are in employment. I think what we want is a world where everyone feels welcome. And I think what we've got at the moment is a world where some people, and autistic people are just one example, do not feel welcome. You know, if you...
And you're not helping the situation at all. You're so out of touch with autistic people that you should be keeping your damn mouth shut.
If you've sent 400 job applications off to try and get a job and you've never had a reply because somehow your autism is maybe not allowing you to see how to write that cover letter and how to present yourself in the best possible way to get that job. You know, it means that our systems of helping people into work are failing this particular group.
No, it's sociology. It's a sociological problem. It's not an autism problem. It's a sociological problem. We are 1%. And that's what we represent, as 1% of the population. And as such, as a minority, all minorities are discriminated against. We happen to have an invisible disability, which makes it worse for us in some respects, at least in the psychological, sociological senses. Certain people with certain disabilities may get more deference and maybe get less deference because they are of their disabilities.
Finally just got her iPad. This is what we really need to use to have her communicate.
I feel thirsty.
You're
tired.
thirsty and tired. Okay, honey, here's your water bottle, okay? We realize that we are special needs. We all need support. The parents, mom, dad, the brothers, the babies, you know, like we all have special needs because she has special needs. And so we have really banded together to create a beautiful community within a community. And we're going out and we're sharing our story with bravery and courage so that the world can welcome us.
Aloha, we are Autism Moms of Kona. We're gathering here today for our monthly support group. So for me, it has been such an amazing outlet, you know? For years I was stuck at home and I refused to leave the house, and I only had one friend who used to come over and help me with Ava, but now I've found the courage to get together because I know I'm not alone in it, right?
Okay, let's hit the water. Yeah?
Ava really loves the water. It brings her such a sense of calm and pure joy.
Well, good night,
We have
Beck.
worked
Thank
so
you for
hard
coming. I appreciate
to come
it.
together to make this happen for her. And helping her to find her joy. We find joy along the way.
Instead of feeling as a victim or as a problem, it's just such a blessing. You know, she's here to help us as well.
Okay, where's this thing going?
I have 3 children on the autism spectrum. My youngest daughter, Jamie, had watched a program on autism and came up and said, Dad, you are for sure autistic and you need to deal with it. And it was very, very difficult for me to accept that. And I sought out a very well-known therapist in New York and got tested. And she interviewed everybody in my life. And I was shocked at what I discovered.
I feel like the first time I realized that you were different, I was in elementary school.
Yes.
And there was a fair.
We all knew I was different. There was just I didn't know why I was different or how I was different. How's it working, Trevor? Now I've been
going on, and I think I was doing like one of those cakewalks, and you were.
I think I finally fixed it.
So excited, and you were clapping and you were yelling and you did your beautiful giant laugh, and I remember telling you
In the dance?
to take a walk.
Yeah, settle down.
One of my most shameful memories, but I remember feeling really embarrassed because you were louder than everybody else.
Right.
My friends used to say, you like going to parades and fairs and playing with video games or the video arcades.
Mm-hmm.
So now I look
That's-
at that and go, you know.
Video games are often, I think, you can't be autistic. You can't be in the autistic club if you're not a gamer. I think that's the case. There's a lot of autistic gamers out there. I'm sure there's some people that don't like gaming, but I would say that's not diagnostic, but is definitely a secondary trait of autism.
Maybe I was too loud and acting too kid-like, but I enjoy that.
No, and I love that about you now. Yeah.
Yeah. But you didn't love that when you were a kid.
It was confusing.
It was
when
embarrassing.
I was a kid. I was just like, I'm a kid. But
I'm
now
the one who's
I
supposed to be
absolutely love it.
excited.
What was the most difficult thing for you as a child with me as your parent being autistic?
I think
These are some of the questions I would love to interview my daughter and ask her. Maybe I'll get her on pretty soon.
heightened emotions and not knowing, if you were yelling, that meant you were scared. Or if you went quiet, that meant you were really stressed out. Not knowing what your emotions were or what was going to come next. I think that was the hardest part.
And how did you come to a place of peace with it? Oh, you haven't.
To be continued.
Okay, we'll do more.
It's just too many numbers.
It is a lot of numbers. It is a lot of numbers.
You're taking classes to learn how to apply for jobs.
Yeah,
I mean, that must give you some comfort, right?
it really does. Especially because last summer I really wanted to figure out how to get a job. So knowing that I have that class and that resource is really helpful.
So I've noticed that about this school is it helps you overcome all those struggles and challenges that we have with autism.
Yeah, there's some overcoming challenges and there's some finding ways to deal with and cope with those challenges, because a lot of the time it's just a neurotypical space and autistic people have trouble fitting in.
They got horses. Heck yeah. We had horses. We had a whole farm. I mean, it was an animal farm. It was definitely, we called it Ladue Zoo. and we literally had a petting zoo, and I mean literally had a petting zoo. We took it out on the road and stuff.
For me, I couldn't regulate my emotions, meltdowns, didn't understand what I was feeling.
Yeah, she knows what she's doing.
I wish I could take back all those years because it must have been so hard for you. And I feel so bad about it, but I didn't know any better, and I'm taking responsibility for it, and I'm sorry.
I don't know if I have a lot to apologize about. I mean, I know I had some meltdowns and stuff like that, but all things considered, I think I did very well not knowing that I was autistic. I really just always did my best to be a good father, and yes, I had my meltdowns and I had weird crap happen and everything else, and would I have been able to do better if I knew I was autistic? Yes. But did I do better than most fathers ever? Did I do better than 99% of fathers? Probably. And my kids would have told you that for sure. My son would tell you that, and my daughter still would. I wasn't perfect by any means, but I was a damn good father. And even though I was weird and had my shit, I was a lot better father than probably any of my kids' friends' parents, just because they weren't as involved, unfortunately.
Won't bite?
Yeah, they got ferrets out there with the horses and stuff like that. Yeah, these guys are just used to being around all kinds of stuff.
Such an inspiration to me. The
She's
work
gonna
you
jump
do
on
in
her,
charities
bareback,
and
watch.
helping people.
Oh, she didn't do
It's
it.
just beautiful. I'm so proud of you.
With autism, it's interesting because I feel like between you, me, Johnny, Jamie, we all process emotions differently. Like, I don't understand jealousy in any way. I can't
don't
read
either.
sarcasm. I take everything literally.
Oh, she's autistic too.
But I do feel like my resilience came from waking up every day as, you know, a 10, 11, 12-year-old and wanting to die and having to live through that, you know? And not having oh, this is why. Like, I had to figure it out for myself, what makes me happy.
And so she's one of the 1 in 3 that has contemplated suicide.
And I found it.
Yeah, you really did. Your sister, Jessica, is interested in animals.
Hey, Trevor, are you
and
still
trying
there?
to figure herself out
Yeah.
and people out. And for you, drawing figures of people.
Straight to naked people, yeah.
It's for you to try to figure them
Straight
out.
to the nudity, yeah. Break it all down, yeah.
Well, there's a transparency to that, right?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, a simplicity, a transparency, a technological aspect to it that's very calming to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so it just makes you happy.
it does, yes.
It's your autistic joy.
It's my autistic joy, exactly.
Yeah. I was in London making movies, and you came over, and we both had this wonderful time going to every art museum.
Mm-hmm.
And then you ended up going to art school in Greece.
Yes, yeah. We would go to the British Museum every week. You would take me there. And that's
really
those
cool.
are some of my best memories. You would just let me explore for hours at a time. You would explore. And seeing the Elgin marbles there led me to apply for a school in Greece. And yeah, it was a big part of my life.
And so it's your life now. You're an artist and into art restoration and
Pursuing it, yes.
and so I'm very proud of you for that.
Thank you. Love you too.
I think the key is understanding autism. That is the key to what we're doing here.
What we're seeing is that there's so much that we don't know.
And what I've seen through and through from all the autistic people that we've interviewed is they all agreed to be a part of this project because it was created by actual autistic people. Because they have said time and time again they are tired of neurotypical people and doctors speaking on their behalf.
Yep.
Autism is a very special thing, and if you look it up, a lot of the world's smartest people have had autism. It's not a disability. It's nothing like that. It's a special power that you have. That is like, congratulations. Do not let anyone take that from you. Do not let anyone try to steal that from you. Me personally, I love being autistic. I would never change that for the world. And don't think that you need to be one of those normal kids. There's no such thing as normal. Just be who you are. Be happy with yourself and use that power to make the world better.
I think people with siblings like mine should try to communicate with them. Be with them. Show them that you care. Because they notice. They know that you're there and they can tell. A lot of people think that people with autism, especially people like Misha who are nonverbal, they think that they don't have anything inside their heads, but they're obviously thinking about so much, and they have so much in their personality that we can't tell.
If there was a pill to take that would take away your autism, would you do it?
No, I would not.
Because you like how you're wired differently.
Yes, I like how I just compute differently than other people, and it's
Can
really
see things that other people
fun
can't
to be
see.
that different.
So you enjoy being different.
Oh yeah, of course. I've always liked to stand out in a crowd. Clearly.
We live in an autistic world.
Howdy, JV.
What most people don't recognize is they pick up their computer and
I'll tell you what's really cool, JV, is I had a few people give me a few like small gifts of like 40 cents here and there, you know, through like roses and flowers and stuff like that. And it literally was just enough to get me back going again because my computer crashed. I had to reset everything, and I realized that because I'm going and looking at so many different websites now, looking at different stories, I'm getting I was getting all kinds of malware and viruses and stuff like that, and it was making it to where I couldn't stream anymore at all. And so now, thankfully, because I was given just enough money, I had just enough in my bank account, even though it was like $3 or $4 that I got, it was just enough to get it to where I could actually order my virus protection and be able to do this. So I just got all that done today, so that's why I'm here.
computer program was
right now.
probably
So
created
I'm
by an
really
autistic
excited.
person.
I was getting a little bit depressed because my computer was jacked up. I didn't know what was going on. I was really trying to figure out if I should go on or not, and you know what my reaction, how much support I was getting or whatever for what I'm doing. And it just so happened that I figured out what I needed to do, and I literally had the support I needed from you guys to get this done and get this started. So I'm really happy and excited about that. So I am going to be here.
Your social network, ironically, was created by an autistic person. Most of the inventions and great things that we live by were created by autistic people. We need to appreciate autism, be grateful for autism, because it's changing our world for the better.
Be proud of being autistic. And then other autistic people will also feel proud. And then you've got to meet some really safe, happy, kind peers.
My message to any girl, any boy struggling with autism is that it is your superpower. It's the one thing that you have that most people don't. You can look into the souls of other people, and it's a real life superpower. Embrace it.
Learning
about my autistic
So this is actually
brain.
a pretty cool film.
Learning from all these fabulous people and families and autistic people on this journey has made me realize that I finally am home. And I feel a part of something, a community. And it's so beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, man. Okay. I think that should get like 9 trains right there. That was pretty awesome, actually. I like that. I was surprised, and I went down the rabbit hole and went to see that, and I'm glad I did. But now I'm gonna move right on. Let's see. No thanks. What is this? For adults. Oh, okay. I just looked at this one. Oklahoma Autism Center receives grant flooded with toys. I'm going to see if they talk about this one here. This will be like a little news story thing, more than likely. Or maybe not. Okay, we ended up with the commercial there. Come back without any accommodation or quit the PhD. Walk out with an MA or 2. Come back without any accommodation or quit the PhD. That's an ADA violation, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could be wrong, but if you could, let's see, that means you would have to move if I'm correct, right? Which you can't do, if I'm right. Boy, that's putting you in a hard position. Because I mean, well, that you could, ooh, I think I would sign the contract to go to the school, and whether you can or not, just say that they, that could be an ADA thing. And also, I know you could probably transfer to another school. Of course, that means you could possibly have to go to school another year or so for losing credits from transferring to other schools, because I know how that works. Man, that is such a hard position to be in. I feel so bad for you. I wish I could, like, help you. Because in the meantime, whether it's an ADA violation or not, doesn't fucking matter. If you get kicked out of the school, you get kicked out of the school. Right? Period. And if you get an ADA thing, it still does not give you a PhD. You still have to, they go, oh, we did bad. And you still have to go through the whole damn thing, like, 6 years later after it's all resolved or whatever. But I think the only thing that could possibly be, that would be a transfer. But then again, I would definitely, after you transfer or whatever you do, definitely go to the ACLU. Or find out about, because you might have a huge lawsuit on your hands that might, because after school you still have to pay for the ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union. I have an ACLU attorney. Well, I used to have one. A American. Of course, you're going to be like, I'm not American. Okay. American. Okay, here's not now. American bleh. American Civil Liberties Union is challenging a wave of attacks on people's rights and freedoms. Our lawyers, advocates, organizers need your help. So this is a donation. I got the donation part. But the ACLU is they have attorneys and so forth. Like my attorney that I was going to use, they still wanted like 40% of the take if they won the case, which is neither here nor there. At least they would represent me. But this could be a okay, so the American Civil ACLU, here's the ACLU home, which is where I would recommend you go to and contact these people. If nothing else, they will have an idea. I know, that's like that 24 hours thing. That is a really weird thing. I don't know. I think they're trying to force a decision on you, and I wouldn't play that game. But I'm PDA. I would probably tell them to screw themselves, but that's not what I should be doing. That was probably not the best thing to do. But I would definitely, or call up the ACLU and ask them if they can have a representative, someone call your school. If you can have an attorney or a representative, anyone, a legal services. A lot of times there's like local legal aid available through the state. It's like Colorado has legal aid that will go to certain, usually it's like courthouses, and give legal advice or whatever. Now on something like this, they're not going to really know much. These are usually legal students, and they're helping out with things like wills and so forth, but they might have an idea of where to go or who to talk to. And it's usually like in what state are you in? If it's like Michigan or something, I think, isn't it? Michigan. So it'd be like legal aid, I think. Yeah, so like here's Michigan legal help. You can just put in like your state and like legal assistance or whatever. There's also, and there is also, get this is what's really cool. Autism legal aid. I know there's something. Autism support resources. Let's see. Nope. Long term. I thought there was a site. National Autism Law Center. National Autism Law Center. About us. I don't know. They've got a legal address. Contact us. Resources. Webinars. What do they do? Criminal law. Resource webinar. Who we are. Housing, employment, criminal justice. What we do. What we will do. Ooh, they got a little video, I think. Ooh, this is high speed, low drag. Let's see. Watch their little video. How do you turn it on? Whoa! I don't want that. What is this? Pictures? Oh, I thought we had a video. Oh, they got this big ass spreadsheet. Okay, so like others, the autism community needs an organization to defend its civil rights and fight for systemic change. So this National Autism Law Center, this sounds like that's right up their alley. If they don't know, if they don't do something specifically, they're gonna know. Like here, let's see, Disability Rights Legal Center. Do you see this here? This is another thing. COPA, Council of something attorneys and advocates, parent attorneys and advocates, or something like that. So now Autism Speaks is obviously bullshit. Don't even bother with Autism Speaks. They're not going to help you. Well, fuck it. You know what? Call Autism Speaks up too. Might as well. I mean, the worst they can do is say no, but they might want to use you as a little thing to say that they help autistic people. And that might be that might get in the newspaper or whatever. So Autism Speaks. If Autism Speaks thinks it's going to earn them money, like if they think, yeah, well, yeah, if they think that it's going to be like a good media story or something like that, and they help you because it's a media story, they get attention and therefore get funding, then they're going to help you. But it has to be framed in that kind of a way that they think that it's going to help them. Boy, I sound like an asshole. But that's how okay, look, I tried to get an interview with Autism Speaks for like 2 months and they wouldn't talk to me. And when I used my former name and told them that I wanted to give them money, they contacted me within 40 minutes of opening. After 2 months of them refusing to even acknowledge me. So if they think they're going to get money, then they'll help you, possibly. ARC, I don't know what the ARC is. I don't know if that's that ARC thing that like that what is the, like, it's like a Goodwill thing, the ARC. I don't know if that's the same one. I don't think that's the same symbol. The Autism Society, I don't know much about it. National Disability Rights Network. I'm telling you, one of these organizations is going to be you're going to find something that's right up their alley if you talk to them. And if you ask them just to call whoever is doing this, if you ask them to call on your behalf, just to ask them what's going on, that might be enough for them to change your tone. In other words, these people may say, look, there's nothing I can do. And what you say is, look, can you call my dean or whatever and say that you're so-and-so from the National Autism Law Center and you're just inquiring to see how that any resources that you could provide to help? And just say that. I did that with it was actually the Six Flags or whatever, Elitch's in Denver. They had some ducks that were dying because of a water thing that they had made, and they would not listen to me. So I called up like 20 duck societies, and I just asked them to call up Elitch's and ask how they could help. And I started getting the media involved and so forth. And within a few hours, they were sending these ducks to a fowl rescue center. But they refused to do it until I had all these duck organizations offering their help. And that's what I would ask these people to do. Just call and say, this is the Autism Society. I'm calling to offer my help on this situation. Boom. It's going to start putting pressure on the college. You see what I'm saying? Because they're not going to want negative press from these different organizations. And, if they get a call from the Disability Rights Legal Center, inquiring to help. You see what I'm saying? That might be just enough pressure, or they might actually go and help. But that's how I would handle it. I would call these things up first thing in the morning, boy. Disability Rights Legal Center is one of them here. The National Autism Law Center. And like I said, just ask them if they can call and offer their help. They don't have to do a damn thing, but just offer their help. And that might be enough pressure. I'm telling you. When colleges hear anything about legal anything, it gets their attention. You know. And you're not doing anything but asking for an advocate. You're saying, well, yeah, I need an advocate. You know, I don't know what to do. I'm autistic, blah, 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 blah. And just play innocent, you know. That's how I do it. So anyway, we have here the Autism Society that is mentioned, CASP. I don't know what CASP is. Disability Rights Legal Center, CAPA, which is the Council of, I swear it says Parent Attorneys and Advocates. I swear that's what it says. Patient Attorneys and Advocates. Maybe that's what it is. Council of Patient Attorneys and Advocates. This DREDF, whichever it is, DREDF, Doing Disability Justice. National Disabilities Rights Network. So yeah, we got all kinds of things being listed here, which is great. Trying to figure out what this is. Dan was the director of litigation for South Carolina Legal Services. So this might do with like medical rights, maybe? But they might know where to go or who to deal with or who to help. See, this guy's involved with ABA, which, even if they are involved with ABA, so what if they can help you? Right? So, yeah. That's awesome. No, thank you. But I imagine it won't take long to go down that rabbit hole. You could research that a bit tonight and know who you're going to talk to and all that stuff. But yeah, I just ask them if they could just call up the dean or whoever that person is, send them and say, just on my behalf, could you just offer your services, and that might be enough. You'd be surprised at particularly if you have 2 or 3. Once you get like the third organization calling up offering their services, that's when they start getting nervous because they're like, oh my God, there's all kinds of people and that's what happened when with that duck thing, with those baby ducks. The guy actually ended up calling me. He's like, man, I'm getting calls from Ducks Unlimited and everything. And he recognized, some of those names, so. But anyway. So yeah, this is the ACLU, and that's the organization that will be helping me possibly in the future with some disability or legal disability type things, I guess I would say. I can't really talk about much of that right now because it's like disability type stuff. Okay, so oh God, this was a weird story. Oh, and here's an actual. Let's see if this USA Today gives us a little bit about this. Her eldest child, Kaylee, has CP among other medical
Atrish is not
complexities.
handicap accessible. So if you don't have
What else? CP and
Atrish is
okay.
not handicap accessible. So if you don't have a pavement, we can't go. There's a big difference between accessibility and accommodating. It's very different.
Right.
You can be accessible and be the minimum, and that's not helpful for us. Usually they are not only are accommodating, but they will one up themselves. Like, we want this for you, but we can't make it happen, so we're gonna make it even better for you instead. I see you, I am you, and there's a whole wide range of people that are also simultaneously enjoying this life and struggling through this life. Whether you leave your home or not does not determine the value that you're providing your child. But when you're ready, be open to the idea that what if it is okay? What if nothing happens? And what if everything goes better than you thought it would?
Okay. So, beaches, resorts in the Caribbean are now bringing new meaning to
More
the,
than 60%
to
of
being
sales
all,
on Amazon.
all-inclusive. Like typical all-inclusive resorts, food, drinks, water sports, and other activities are included in the cost, but beaches, resorts with 2 properties in Ocho Rios, Negril, and in Jamaica, and 1 in Provence in Turks and Caicos. I don't even know where that is. Also caters to families with members who are neurodivergent. Many families traveling with a child on the spectrum. Okay, many families find traveling with a child on the spectrum challenging, with only 13% of them reporting they take vacations according to the survey. Well, yeah, it's really hard because you don't want to go. I mean, the industry isn't accommodating to them. An overwhelming 90% of families said they are not satisfied with travel options for autistic children. 93% said they would take more vacations if there is more autism certified options available. So, oh my God, this is cooler than hell. Look at that. That's awesome. I want to go there. I want to go play. From sensory guide designated quiet areas to first autism-friendly kids camps in the Caribbean, Beaches Resorts is the first company to be autism certified by the IBCCES. What the hell is that? What's the ICBBBS? Okay, I'm going to have to... They're giving these initials, but they're not saying what they are. So they're saying that Beaches got certified through this place, whatever it is. What certified doesn't really mean anything. Global Marine... Oh, come on! Are you kidding me? Okay, this means nothing. Okay, IBCCES means nothing. Okay, so I could start a club, the Dave Autism Club, okay? And I want you to be certified in the Dave Autism Club. So I make up a test of 20 questions. I send it to these people or have these people do it. They make up a little stupid computer program test, and you take my test. You answer the 20 questions, read the little paragraph I give you, answer the 20 questions. You are now certified in the Dave is Cool testing. Okay? Through the IBCCES Università. And that's how that works. I know I'm really serious here. I know I'm being kind of a jerk about it, but this is like Prager University. Prager University was a mobile home like in a rural Kansas county, and it's still there. Prager U. Watch this. Preg Prager University mobile home. Watch this. We're gonna get the images. There it is. Oh, nope, that's not it. Where's Prager University? PragerU. Okay. Oop. I want to see if I can find this PragerU. It is so funny. Let's see if they show. They don't have a picture of the mobile home, but basically, it's just a mobile home sitting in a field, basically in a like a rural field somewhere. It's not a university at all. And it's just great. And that's what this other university is. It's nothing whatsoever. It's just brilliant.
Christmas came early at the Oklahoma Autism Center. A new grant is supplying them with thousands.
I already got that one. Okay. We're going to take a look at this one. Families with autism find... Yeah, okay. Traveling sucks. We know that. Long Island teacher accused of tying autistic nonverbal teen to a chair. School waited to tell parents. Yes. This looks beautiful. Let's see how brilliant this is. No, we don't care about Adobe. This is just wonderful. Hopefully they actually have a story here. Come on. We don't care about Adobe. Not right now. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to go through all the spam to get to an article that's not there. Let's see. Special education teacher on Long Island allegedly tied a nonverbal. See, they think that this is okay to do to an autistic kid. This is common now. This isn't something that happens occasionally, that this kind of abuse. This is a weekly kind of thing that I see almost every week. I'd say twice a month for sure. We see some kind of bizarre thing like this, like tying up autistic kids or something like that. The frightening incident has left the 15-year-old Elmont Memorial High School student who goes to neighboring New Hyde on Thursdays for special instruction scared to go back to class, according to his dad, Carlos Diaz. So Carlos Diaz, 45, and Carla Canales, 46, are the parents of a nonverbal autistic 15-year-old who allegedly tied to a chair by a special ed teacher at New Hyde Park Memorial High School on Long Island. I don't understand why he tied my son up, Diaz, a 45-year-old baker worker from Elmont, New York, told the Post during an interview. He's supposed to know my son is autistic. My son does not talk. We cannot get any answers from him, so I don't know what happened. If this is the first time, second time, I don't know. That's crazy. I need answers. I need answers. I need to know what really happened. It's not clear why a 40-year-old track coach who graduated from Valley Stream North High School in 2002 allegedly tied the teen down or left him before someone found him. Oh my God! The school reported the incident to Nassau County Police Department and the boy's father the next afternoon. According to they waited a day. That's why. That's also left Diaz wondering why the school district waited more than 24 hours to tell anyone about, because they're incompetent. And they were trying to figure out what to do to cover their ass. So they delayed it instead of just telling your dad what happened. That's what happened, right? Why on Friday? I don't understand. They didn't call me on Thursday. I think they don't care about it. You're probably, well, they cared. They just didn't want to, they just cared about getting sued. They didn't care about your son. Yep. Now Diaz intends to sue the high schools, both in Elmont Hyde Park as well as the Sinawakahala. Wow. Okay, it's an Indian name, American Indian name, and I am not good at those. Sorry. Central High School District for $3 million in damages, according to the notice of claim. He was assaulted, harassed, abused, tied to a chair by a special needs student teacher. Yeah, he was. So, I don't blame them. Hopefully, I hope they do get the $3 million. I really do. This can't be considered to be... The reason I want them to get all that money is because the schools will not be adamant about making sure that does not happen again unless they lose a substantial amount of money. That's the only thing that the government understands, is losing their funding. That's the only thing that makes them get it, that gets through to them. All right, I'm going to take a brief break and refuel here, and I will be right back. All right. All right. Oh, how funny. Okay. I was wondering what the heck was going on. It's like, I was messing with my camera earlier trying to turn off the microphone. And I was having a very difficult time actually finding, I still have not found where the microphone is, because I think sometimes it causes an echo. So I was trying to get that resolved. But nonetheless, I'm wondering if I should continue tonight or if I should just pick this up tomorrow, where I got where I picked up started yesterday. Let's see. Erica posted in PDA exclusive Universal. When was that? 2 weeks ago. Okay. Oh, 8 hours ago. Okay, here we go. Actually, autistic adults. Interesting. I'm getting all kinds of Facebook notifications right now in the middle of my feed. Like, what the hell? Oh my goodness. I don't care about all these notifications for Facebook. I just want my feed. That's all I care about. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, stop. Just stop. Okay. My goodness gracious. I think I am going to stop for today, and I'm going to pick this up tomorrow at 6 o'clock. It's 11 o'clock now, so I'm going a little bit late, so I think I'm just going to call it good right here. I certainly appreciate everything. I'm going to have to do an appreciation stream tomorrow, I think, early. I'm just going to do an appreciation stream, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know what I'll do for it, though. We'll see. See what I'm going to do for the appreciation stream. I want to come up with something just besides doing news, though, you know? Something a little bit different. But I am going to sign off right now and sign off for the evening. I certainly really do appreciate all of you guys so much. This is David Page. Screw them.